Hello, everybody. Good to see y'all out there. Welcome, college football fans. That's what we're out here to talk about tonight. I got my buddy Garage Guy, Mark. Is see he's Virginia Tech fan. I got my Georgia gear hanging behind me. I see Uncle Jim's out there. Kyle Lusk is out there. Uh, we had Bobby Barlow drop by. Um,
Yeah, I thought I saw Kentucky Rimfire up there.
Yeah, Tactical Fud dropped by to say hey. So I know y'all used to seeing gun content and reloading type stuff from me and the gun content and reviews from Mark, but we're going to talk about the college football playoff, which starts um, this coming Friday night. First of all, Mark, I think we need to explain uh, Kentucky Rimfire. What did I win? You win college football lessons, bud. First of all, the name of our show, We Don't Know Ball.
That's right.
Go ahead, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Jamie. Honestly, we're not experts. We never played college football. We never played pro football. Did play high school football, but we love the game. We enjoy watching it. We enjoy talking about it. And, Jamie, I feel in this respect is a kindred spirit, same as he is with 2A related things. And sometimes it's good to sit around and talk about different things, and college football is one of those things. We don't claim to know everything. We don't know everything. We'll be the first to admit that. So welcome everybody over there in the side chat. Good to see you. I know Uncle Jim's a big Utah Ute fan. We might try and get something in about them once in a while, but it's mainly going to be Southeastern Conference, which is going to be Jamie's strong point, and mine will be the Atlantic Coast Conference, which will be my strong point there. So everybody, I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you stick around. Got any questions or want to leave some comments? Feel free, and we'll get to you best we can.
Wow, man, we got some people watching out there. Welcome in here, everybody. Six Shooter Texan, Ricky Baird, Boomstick, Sven Grusberg. He looks like a Mississippi State fan. Welcome in here, good buddy. Kentucky Rimfire said don't ask him to talk about college football. That's another big thing that's been going on. And it started, the coaching carousel thing started as early as I can ever remember in college football this year. With, I think Oklahoma State was the first school to fire their coach.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Virginia Tech fired that daggone phone. I'm going to cut it off. Virginia Tech fired their coach after week number 3. And then the dominoes just started falling.
Yeah. I remember the kick 6, Kyle. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Baird, we ain't laughing about that anymore. In case you haven't heard, I ain't saying the curse is over for good, but I'm saying that my dog's got a sweet little taste, a little sweet taste of revenge on those red elephants from Tuscaloosa in the Southeast Conference championship game, 28-7. And I'll point out that The one touchdown that Alabama did score in that game was a result of one guy on Georgia's defense committing both a personal foul and a pass interference. So basically, 30 yards of that 67-yard drive was a free gift from one individual on our defense. DJ, play nice.
Rock.
Hey, man. So, yeah, that Alabama stuff is a thing to me. I guess y'all can tell by our gear. I'm a University of Georgia Bulldog fan. Always have been, always will be. Back to the thing. The thing about the name of our show here, like he said, we didn't play. My son Jay's out there. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Dylan loves baseball. I think I said 67, Dylan, but you can fact check that. My boss does that all the time. Anyway, so y'all hear experts talk about football fans and say, well, they bought a shirt at Walmart. That's me and Mark. That's us. we didn't go to school there. We're not alumni. We didn't play. We just love our college football. Dale Pogue's an Oklahoma fan. Let's get to that one first. What do you think, Mark?
Sounds good. We sure can.
Let me see if I can get this up here. Is that the right? No, that's the right one right there. We got a bracket, and some guy's talking over there. Y'all don't pay him any attention. There we go. Make him be still. The first game of the weekend will be the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners versus the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide from Norman, Oklahoma, this coming Friday night at 8 p.m. That'll be on ABC ESPN. So how you feeling about that game, Mark?
Well, from what I've seen, Bama is a 1.5 favorite. But you're going into Norman, one of the toughest places to win. And I got to go with the Sooners on this one. It'll be a close game, but I'd say last possession wins. I got to go with the Sooners.
There's MCK Willie. Good night, Michael Dunn. Okay, so here's the thing. Back to what started this whole thing here. Last football season, me and Garage Guy was talking, and my picks are notoriously bad. Georgia was getting ready to play Georgia Tech, and I told Mark said he thinks it'll be a close game, and I said, well, if it's closer than 21 points, I'll be shocked. Well, 8 overtimes later, we know how that game. We know his picks are far more accurate than mine. So I'm going to disqualify my own picks when it comes to my dogs. Of course, you know I'm going to pick them every single time. And so with that being said, I'm kind of looking at Oklahoma, Alabama as it's almost like Oklahoma's got the same curse over Alabama that Alabama had over Georgia for all those years. And I'm thinking Alabama's probably going to have to show me. And I'm going to pick Oklahoma on that game too. Now, if Alabama suddenly finds a running game, it could be different. And the winner of that game will advance to play Indiana.
And that would,
They're basically playing for a chance to go to the Rose Bowl and face Indiana.
right.
Okay.
Oklahoma is 10-2 on the season. Alabama's 10-3. Pretty much identical records there.
Yeah. Alabama's best win will be on the road against my Dogs.
Yeah.
I think everybody would agree with that. Okay. Next game, number 7, Texas A&M, sitting there at 11-1 versus the number 10 Miami Hurricanes. They're a 10-2 team. That's excuse me. That's going to be at Kyle Field, Texas A&M, Saturday the 20th at noon, and that's going to be on ABC, ESPN. How you feeling about that one?
Ooh, well, usually home field has an advantage, but here's the thing: Texas A&M has a record of 11 wins, 1 loss. They beat Notre Dame. I believe that was 41-40
on the road.
Right. And you got to give the Aggies credit for that. It's tough to win in South Bend. But I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, and Texas A&M did not play Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and Vanderbilt this year. I don't think they played Ole Miss either.
Did they play Oklahoma?
A&M. I don't know. I believe they did. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But right here are some of their victories. They beat Auburn by 6. South Carolina by 1. Now, that was an amazing comeback on A&M's part. And they only beat Arkansas, a 2-10 team, by a field goal. They can be beat at Kyle Field. And if Miami's quarterback is on a streak, if he's in the zone, I look for Miami to take it.
Yeah. I'm perplexed on this game. I agree with you in the respect that the Aggies have not played top tier SEC competition this season. One thing they have in common is they both beat Notre Dame. You're looking at the two teams that beat Notre Dame playing against each other. I think at home Texas A&M has the edge. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M there with 6-shooter Texan. So so far we're picking the same teams. This is where we get to a little bit of angst. Saturday, December 20th, number 6 Ole Miss versus number 11 Tulane. That's at 3:30 on TNT and True TV and HBO Max if you're looking for where to find it. Ole Miss is sitting there at 11-1. I don't even know what Tulane's record is. I have not seen them play this year. But I've been hearing a lot of stuff about them. Both teams have lost their head coach. Tulane's head coach is still there coaching through the playoff. We all know the big story with Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss to go to LSU. I don't see how Tulane can possibly win this football game.
Well, I agree with you. I don't see them winning it either because Ole Miss defeated Tulane 45-9 in the regular season.
as they did.
And Tulane's record, by the way, is 11 wins, 2 losses, which probably got them the ranking it got them. And they did win their conference championship. But, yeah, this Tulane might keep it close first quarter and a half. Ole Miss has got too much for them. I look for the Rebels in a blowout.
I agree. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, Ole Miss should win that. Which leads us to two more controversies that we'll probably talk about later or on a future episode. The college football scene is in a mess, and they've got to have some rules, and they got to start enforcing the rules. Right now, there's no teeth to the NCAA like there was when we were teenagers, Mark. You can pretty much, it's the wild, wild west right now. All that's going to have to change. But, yeah, then you get does Tulane and James Madison even deserve to be in a 12-team college football playoff? Probably not. But for legal reasons and to avoid lawsuits, as we hear, Josh Pate, Joel Klatt, two of the guys I listen to a good bit, talk about if the group of five is not involved in all, there's going to be lawsuits all over the place. And I kind of like Josh Pate's idea there of having a separate national championship tournament for the group of five conferences. And but right now, you don't even have the Power Four that we used to have, or the Power Five. It used to be SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and the ACC has had a terrible year this year, and the Big 12 and the Pac-12. Well, Pac-12's what? Got two schools in it now?
Two.
Yeah, so all that mess, realignment's got to come soon, and we all know it. And they got to get some rules and get enforced. But anyway, so we both picked Oklahoma. We both picked Texas A&M. We both picked Ole Miss. So it's a pretty boring show so far, right, guys? The fourth game of the weekend is number 5 Oregon versus number 12 James Madison at 7:30 on TNT and True TV. I predict that this game will be a worse blowout than Ole Miss Tulane.
Yeah, the winner of this game will get Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day.
Texas
Oregon
Tech
is 11.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. All right.
I was going to say Texas Tech is
Oregon's
the big.
Go.
All right, let me get this out quickly. Yeah, Texas Tech is the big fly in the ointment. I don't know a whole lot about them. They've got a bye. They got a number 4 seeding because they won the Big 12. So with that, go ahead and give us those records in your pick, Mark.
All right. Oregon is 11-1. Their only loss this season come to Indiana. Of course, they did not play Ohio State. James Madison, their record is 12-1. And for those of you that don't know, James Madison is in the Sun Belt Conference. And the school is located in Harrisonburg, Virginia, up in the northern part of the state. And Oregon is a 21-point favorite in this game. And I'll say they'll probably be ahead by 21 midway through the second quarter. They've got nothing for Oregon, It's like I said, Tulane might keep it close for a bit with Ole Miss. JMU might make a good show in the first quarter and a half, but after that, nah. Got to go with Oregon.
Well, let's go back to Ole Miss Tulane.
All right.
Just for a second. the big question there is what effect is the loss of Lane Kiffin going to have on Ole Miss? Lane did allow uh, offensive coaches to come back to Ole Miss to finish the college football playoff. Uh, you know, I don't know how much of effect that's going to have. Probably it could be a galvanizing thing. How's that going to affect those kids when they go out there to play that football game? And I'm thinking they're going to handle Tulane pretty easy. But there was another thing that I was confused on earlier in the week that I studied up a little bit on, and that was Trinidad Chambliss, their quarterback, talking about his future, whether he would stay at Ole Miss. All of this is contingent on he has filed for a waiver to get one of his past seasons retroactively redshirted so that he can have another year of eligibility to play college football. Now, if they grant that waiver, basically he was a backup quarterback at his Division II team, which was Ferris State. And he didn't play the 4 games. That's the cutoff is 4 games. So he asked for a waiver. Well, that precedent's already been set when you look at Diego Pavia. So I think he'll get it personally. And so then, when I first heard the headlines and stuff like that, my immediate thought was, is he not going to play in the college football playoff after he earned the spot? But that was me being mistaken. That is totally not what's going to happen. I'm understanding now that Trinidad Chambliss will be the quarterback for Ole Miss, and that they do have a new coach in place. He's their old defensive coordinator. Am I right about that, Mark?
I believe so, yeah. I don't see it having much of an effect. Here's what I worry about Ole Miss. They don't want to look ahead to the next game, which would be Georgia. That's where that could come into play. But I don't think it comes into play against Tulane. I think they'll easily be handled. But, just you can't look ahead to the next week. That's advice I'd give those guys.
Well, that's what happened when they came to Georgia to play us. Is right. They had a bye week, and I can't remember if the bye week. I'm assuming that the bye week was the week right before Georgia, so they had been basically prepping for Georgia for 3 weeks, and they let a team. I can't even remember the team, but it's a group of 5 team. They beat them by a field goal. And that's a little too close for comfort if you're a top-notch team like Ole Miss.
Yeah. Some of these teams, group of 5, might have an excellent day, once in a season type of game, where they call it playing over their heads, everything just, all the chips fall right into place, it's just the best day ever. And they're able to make things close, and then the next week or so, nothing goes right. It can be a game of luck, and it can be a game of momentum, but like I said, I don't think Kiffin's departure is going to have any effect in that first playoff game, but the second one, if it does happen, that's when it'll happen.
Well, we've heard it said a lot It's hard to beat the same team twice in the same year. Well, Georgia's going to have to do it if they're going to go very deep in the playoff because they got to, providing Tulane beats Ole Miss, Georgia's going to have to beat them for a second time. And that'll be at the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
And, my Georgia boys have got some unfinished business in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't play well at all against Notre Dame there last year for quite a few reasons, but we won't get into that. You win football games or you lose football games, and all the reasons why are excuses.
Yep, very true. Very true.
So Oregon should roll James Madison.
Right.
Then you got, let's say Ole Miss wins, Oregon wins. You got Ole Miss playing Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. You've got then
Right.
Oregon will play Texas Tech.
No, Oregon would play. Shoot. What I got wrote down here, Oregon JMU winner would play Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl.
Okay, so that
Winner of Alabama. Yeah. Winner
That'd be-
of Tulane and Ole Miss has Georgia in the Sugar.
right. The winner of Texas A&M Miami playing the Cotton Bowl. That'll be on Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve at 7:30. The winner of Oregon, James Madison, plays Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, noon on New Year's Day. The winner of Oklahoma, Alabama plays in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena against number 1 Indiana at 4 p.m. on New Year's Day. And then Georgia plays the winner of Ole Miss, Tulane in the Sugar Bowl at 8 o'clock. And that's from New Orleans.
Right. Jamie, do you remember last year every team that had a first round bye lost?
I do. That's the reason I kind of didn't want Georgia to get that bye. I don't see that happening this year.
No, I don't either. But there was a simple way they could have fixed that and added up to the top 16 teams. Forget about the bye rounds. Have the next 4 teams come in and play, and just do it like it, because sometimes a bye week hurts more than it helps.
I wouldn't disagree with that. That would give you more on-campus games too.
Right, yeah.
So 1-16, 2-15, like that.
Mhm.
Pair 'em up.
Right.
But man, I remember when basically, I remember that, Kyle. Sugar's falling from the sky. That's the first time Georgia beat Tennessee in forever. Anyway, the whole 16 team thing. When we were kids, Mark, there was basically 2 teams that played for the national championship, and generally speaking, they played in they played in the Rose Bowl. It was either the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, or the Cotton Bowl. was where the two most dominant teams of the year played each other on New Year's Day, and whoever won was the national champion.
Yeah, but here was a problem with that. Sometimes the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams would be in different conferences, and conferences had bowl affiliations back in.
Right.
That's how Penn State lost out a couple of times when it, well, more than twice. They went undefeated several years under Paterno, didn't get the chance to play for the title. The year Notre Dame won it, they beat Texas one year. I think it was late 70s. And Texas had Earl Campbell, that running back. He was a senior. Texas was number 1, Notre Dame was number 4. And number 2 couldn't play number 1, bowl affiliation. Notre Dame beat the crap out of Texas, so Notre Dame jumped up from 4-1.
That's the way it used to be done.
Yeah.
It was all about that. You had the AP poll, the United Press poll, and the coaches poll.
Yeah.
And between the three of them and those 4 top bowl games and the pairings in there, you pretty much elected a national champion. And that was that's why there's been more than one time we had quote unquote co-national champions.
I remember that happening twice. Michigan and Nebraska, that was Peyton Manning's senior year because Tennessee got killed by Nebraska in their bowl game. And I want to say 91 when Georgia Tech had to share the national title with Washington.
No, it was Colorado, I believe.
You might be right. Yeah. Well, like the name of the show, we don't know ball. We're going to make mistakes.
Yeah, I think, and the only reason I do that is because I actually went to a game that year at Georgia Tech. Guess who I went to see them play?
Virginia Tech.
I did. Have I told you this story?
Yes, sir. You sure did.
Yeah. I went to see.
I remember Go ahead.
I went to see the national champion play a home game against Virginia Tech on the flats in Atlanta. Pouring down rain. It had been raining for 2 days, just a steady downpour. I think his name was Scott Sisson. Was that his name? Kicked 3 field goals for Georgia Tech that day. Virginia Tech's kicker kicked 2. Tech won 9-6.
Yeah.
To remain undefeated. What a football game. So I tell people, I said, I saw a national championship team play a home game once and they didn't even score a touchdown. So there's that.
Yeah, that happens. I remember that year. I'm pretty sure it was 91.
I think it was 1990, but the bowl games to determine were New Year's Day of 91, yes.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It was the 1990 football season, but yeah, the bowl game was New Year's Day of 91. And I could be totally wrong. But let me look that up. There was some more things you wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin. You know, he had it made at Ole Miss. He brought him up to being a top tier team. And I won't argue that he's not a good coach. He is. But why leave a school when you've got it made there? I mean, the guy could have practically retired from there, stayed there as long as he wanted. They would have, you know, kept his contract up well, make plenty of money there. And even if you have an off season, which all teams do, it doesn't matter who the coach is. You're not going to have your head on the rack, you know, people screaming for it. They'd say, well, we had an off year. We'll get them next year. He could have stayed there as long as he wanted. Now, you remember coaches like Bobby Bowden, Frank Beamer, and a lot of others. Heck, they was at the same school over 20 years, and they'd have an off season. Nobody complained. They said, we'll just go with it next year. We'll get it done. This day and time, you know, him going to LSU, if he ain't an instant winner within 2 seasons, he's probably out the door. Why doesn't these coaches, you know, you have stability, you have a good paying job, you know, you've made a home somewhere, and a little more money. Well, LSU, you know, that's a big national brand, a bigger brand than Ole Miss, but, you know, you got everything you'd ever want. Why move on? You don't do it for a challenge or to rebuild. LSU's not a bad team. They just had an off season, got rid of Brian Kelly, which they probably shouldn't have hired him to begin with in the first place. But yeah, Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss, I think he fouled up.
I think he did too. Look that up, that Georgia Tech thing. They were actually 11-0-1. So they tied somebody. And I was trying to find out who. Colorado was. Colorado started the year 1-1-1. And then they had season opener tied number 8 Tennessee and lost in week 3 to number 21 Illinois. So they had no room for error and proceeded to win the rest of the games that season.
Didn't Colorado, that's when they had that quarterback, Cordell Stewart?
I think so.
He started a trend, a running back that could throw.
Yeah.
And I think they beat Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl that year, Colorado.
So there was another big controversy. They got 5 downs in one series against, who was that? Missouri. Colorado did. They messed up and gave them 5 downs.
I remember that. That's not the only time that happened that year, if I remember correctly. Well, yeah, I remember when Cordell Stewart started. He, after he played a couple of seasons in Colorado, a lot of these schools, they were practically running backs that could throw the ball. Heck, look a few years later, Michael Vick at Virginia Tech. faster than any running back I'd seen in years, and he could throw the ball, and he was a lefty.
Georgia Tech beat Nebraska 45-21 in the Citrus Bowl. And Colorado played at Notre Dame. That they had the Rocket Ishmael. You remember that name?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And he ran a kickback for a touchdown in that game. But Colorado came back to win.
Yeah, that game was one of those where you sit on the edge of your seat. That was a good game.
Yeah. So Colorado went 10-1-1. Georgia Tech went 11-0-1. Beat Nebraska in the Citrus Bowl, and Georgia Tech finished number one in the coaches poll by 1 vote. And then they went 11-1-1 and finished number one in the AP poll.
You know, they should have had playoffs years ago. No doubt. Also, another example I was talking where the top 2 teams don't get to play in a bowl. I believe it was 69. Penn State was undefeated. Texas was undefeated. And Arkansas was undefeated. And for some reason, they decided the winner of the Texas-Arkansas game, which they were both in a Southwest Conference in, should be number 1. Penn State didn't even get a say about it. They finished undefeated, and not a word was mentioned.
I know, man. There's Miss Kitty. And back to this. Kyle, I had free tickets, bud. Of course, at that time, we had no idea that Tech would eventually be the co-national champions.
Right.
But I'll never forget that day. Man, it was wet. Golly, it was terrible. But yeah. So are we going to make further picks in the bracket, or we do want to wait till next week to do that?
Well, I think, let's see, the end of the week, okay. I think we can wait till next week to do that, because that's when, you know, the really good bowl games are going to be happening. And I need to do a little bit of research on some teams and see what's what, injury situation, coaching situation, that kind of thing. But there's some good matchups. But I will say this, Jamie, there's only one bowl game this year where an ACC team plays against an SEC team, and I think it'll be a good game. It's on New Year's Eve, December 31st, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, Wake Forest versus Mississippi State. They may not have had the best seasons this year, but I think that'll be an excellent game.
Well, I'll take Mississippi State in that one, obviously.
I got to go with the Demon Deacons, Wake Forest. they usually do really well in bowl games. I mean, they don't have much luck other times of the football season, but they make it to a bowl. They sure make the best of it.
Mississippi State's got a really good offense, man. Of course, they didn't have much for Georgia that day. I think they finally scored 21 points against Georgia, but by the time they scored those last two touchdowns, Georgia had the backups in there getting reps.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't do well, but that particular Saturday. But Georgia's defense had become of age at that point. For this season, Georgia's defense has progressively gotten better, and I think if you look back over the season and you look at the stats and all that kind of stuff, I think you'd see Schumann got that defense on track about halftime of that Ole Miss game, the one in Athens. Gunnar Stockton, I'm really surprised at how well he's played. Very pleasantly surprised at how well he's played this season when it's come to those big time pressure situations. He's delivered, and I hope he can keep it up through the playoffs. I was disappointed that he didn't get more recognition for the Heisman, but there's always next year. I'm pretty sure he'll be back.
Yeah.
Barring some unforeseen something or other. I'll be interested to see who's going to be playing Indiana. I will not miss anything. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to find some Texas Tech footage between this week and next week, so I'll have more of an education about that team. They are definitely the cream of the crop of the Big 12. The only game they lost was when their quarterback was injured. That's big. Anything else you want to talk about? If not, we'll start wrapping this up.
We can go ahead and wrap up. I think it was a pretty good show for our first time out here. I really enjoyed it. And I've got several topics for the next show. It was good to see everybody over there in the side chat. And Jamie, I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing this again.
Well, I do too, and I agree, Kyle. They need to play football for 4 quarters. Y'all let us know in the comments or in the side chat. Hopefully y'all come back to this video and Kyle, you're not the only one, dude. So I want y'all to let us know what particular night of the week would be better for us to do this on. And if there's a particular starting time or a particular topic y'all want us to get into. So good night, 6-shooter Texan. And with that, we'll let y'all get on about your evenings, I reckon. Anything else before we say good night?
No, I think you got it covered, my friend.
Good deal. So y'all let us know what night y'all want to see this again, or if you even want to. And we appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Right now, we're going to plan on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, right?
Right.
Very well. Good night, y'all.
Good night.